The perfect time to buy in a market is when the market has pulled back. So today I'll be talking about the top 3 items to buy in the Pokemon market that have pulled back the most, and this is some great opportunity if you're looking for some pickups. So without further ado, let's begin. Alright, I'm just going to say for number 1, you are not going to be able to predict what it is, so make sure to stick till the end. I am so happy that item is finally cheap. Holy moly, took long enough. But anyways, number 3 is Evolving Skies. So this is going to Sword and Shield. The other 2 will be Scarlet and Violet, but Evolving Skies. The reason why I've put Evolving Skies so high, you may be thinking it's such an expensive booster box, it's not really worth it, but here's the thing. I made a video, this video specifically, breaking down on why I think Evolving Skies is underrated, and I think it should actually be about $4,000 for the booster box. I use all these math problems and different calculations to come to the conclusion that it should be roughly $4,000. And in that video, I was discussing that, but here's the thing. Evolving Skies has pulled back a bit. It makes sense. It has gone up a lot this year. It's gone up some of the highest percentages this year. So yeah, it makes sense. But the thing is that because I believe it should be more than the price it already was, but then it's pulled back, it's like, okay, sure, it's only down 10%, which is a lot for Sword and Shield for the record. Doesn't really sound like a lot, but the thing is 10%, but it should be like 40% higher than the current price it was when I made that video. Now that's pulled back a bit, you know what? I think it's worth buying. So yeah, anyways, number 2 is Paldean Fate's Booster Model Displays. Now, I'm so happy I could talk about Paldean Fate's Booster Model Displays because that's pretty much what I talked about most of all in like the first couple months of my channel. In the first couple of months, I mainly talked about Paldean Fates and 151 because I was so confident on them. I was saying, like, guys, you know, you should really buy this. These booster model displays are amazing. I was talking very highly of Paldean Fates. I talked about it way more confident than 151. And with Paldean Fates, I think there's 2 reasons why it's crashing the highs. So Paldean Fates booster model displays are down about 38% from its all-time high to now. However, 151 displays are only like 15-ish%. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. I believe the reason why is because Paldean Fates at the start of the year wasn't actually near as expensive as 151. So Paldean Fates went on just an absolute run. Like, 151 always had a premium. Booster Bond displays always had a premium. Paldean Fates, not so much. Paldean Fates, at the start of the year, honestly wasn't that expensive. So what I think has happened is it's gone up so much. Because you gotta remember, at the start of the year, it was like half the price of 151. And then at one point, it was actually more expensive than 151. Paldean Fates displays sold all the way up to like 2k USD on the high. So think about it. You've got an item that was like half the price of 151, and now it's overtaking 151. Dude, obviously it's going to pull back a large percentage, right? So there's that, but there's also the fact that the collection box is coming out. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, there's a collection box coming out similar to Blooming Waters, but Paldean Fate's version of it. Now, here's the thing. I believe that this collection box is going to do virtually nothing to the box price, and the reason is because any boxes that come out, collectors are immediately going to buy it at MSRP and then just rip it, or rip and shippers are going to buy it, then sell it on their stream and just rip through the entire supply. I genuinely believe that. So what I think is going to happen is this has happened tons of times in the past for the record, but what I think is going to happen is a restock is going to come. Then the restock comes, it does nothing to the price. People speculate that Paldean Fates is going to go back to MSRP, but it does nothing to the price. And then it'll just end up shooting higher than ever. This happened with Paldea Evolved. There have been news here and there of large Paldea Evolved reprints, and it never really did anything to the price. It short-term dumped it because there was speculation it would go down. But you know what I find funny about the market, right? If Pokemon announced that they would reprint Prismatic Evolution Pokemon Center ETBs, right? Immediately overnight, Prismatic Evolution ETBs, Pokemon Center, would go down in price. It would go down maybe like 20 to 30%. Now, this is what I find really interesting. The supply was exactly the same. The only thing that changed was the sentiment. Now, what do you think is going to happen when an item dumps the price of a booster bundle display, the new Blooming Waters but for Paldean Fates? We're just going to call it Paldean Fates Waters. Paldean Fates Waters, when that was announced, actually, let's call it Paldean Waters. I think Paldean Waters, Fates Blooming, Paldean Waters, yeah, has a bit of a kick to it. Not really, but it'll do. Paldean Waters, when that got announced that would come out, it made most Paldean Fates items pull back a bit. And then we saw now it's absolutely pulling back a lot. And I think it's really got to do with Paldean Waters coming out. Now, here's the thing. When Paldean Waters actually comes out, which I think is in like December or something, when Paldean Waters actually comes out, it'll do nothing to the price. And then we'll see Paldean Fates do better than ever because people are going to go, oh, okay, oh, well, it's come out, it's done nothing to the price, so it's not actually making it go to MSRP, meaning I should just buy right now. That's most likely going to happen. Unless the reprint is enormous, which I just don't see happening. Even then, Paldean Fates is a really strong set. It's just going to get ripped into the oblivion anyways. So I think that's why Paldean Fates has gone down, and I really, really like giving an answer towards why something has gone down. I want to give an explanation on it. Speaking of, tomorrow I'm going to be talking about a couple of interesting cards and the sets and how it affects the sealed value. Some cards going up, some cards going down. I find it very interesting, but I'm going to just stay tuned for that. I'm going to be talking about that tomorrow. But I want to actually come up with a reason. I want to actually figure out what the reason is. And I look at it and I see a connection. Paldean Waters is coming out. Okay, well, that makes sense why Paldean Fates has dumped so much, because you've got Paldean Waters coming out versus 151, where you don't really have Blooming Waters coming out. Technically, there is a reprint for Blooming Waters, at least in Australia. There was like a massive restock today. Yeah, that happened. Wasn't really that substantial though. It was not like a massive Costco restock. It was just like a small restock for like Kmart's and stuff. But anyways, that's a story for another time. Number one. Can you guess what it is? It's Destined Rivals booster boxes. Holy moly, Destined Rivals. It's in such a weird situation because Destined Rivals, everybody wanted to invest in it within like a month, so then it just absolutely sended it. But because it sended it, people didn't want to invest in it because they were like, whoa, hold up. This booster box, that is eventually going to be $1,000, $2,000, and potentially even $3,000 in the future. Okay, it just went from $250 to $400. I don't know. Like, immediately people just dropped the sentiment because it went up like $100 or $150. Now, here's the thing. I think it's quite stupid to then pull back from that. But when it went to like $500 or like $550 at the high, okay, that was bullshit. When it really sended it, that's when I was like, alright, yeah, that's bullshit. That's not gonna hold. I'm pretty sure we all knew that was not gonna hold. That was just utter hype, and that was just bullshit. Nothing more than that. You don't need an explanation. It went up way too fast, way too quick. That was just the dumbest thing ever that it went up. Absolute stupidity. Now we're seeing a retrace, which is good. It makes sense that there's a retrace. It's at 360 USD. Guys, if you're not buying Destined Rivals at 360 USD, I don't even know what to tell you. Destined Rivals is a phenomenal set, and I don't really need to give it an introduction, but here's the thing about Destined Rivals that I find very interesting, is it just slams all the other main sets just out the waters. I'm not going to do it yet, but there is a part of me that just wants to sell all my Paldean Evolved for Destined Rivals. The only reason why I wouldn't do it is because Paldean Evolved is older, but that just didn't really fly for Sword and Shield, and I literally made a video like 12 hours ago. Well, okay, when you're watching this video, it's my previous video, how I was saying that buying older sets that are worse, knowing they're worse, but buying it because it's older, is just dumb because it doesn't work out. Like, if you look at Chilling Reign versus like Fusion Strike, Lost Origin, Evolving Skies, if you bought Chilling Reign in Battle Styles because they were older but worse, and your logic was like, oh, well, they'll start to go up sooner, that did not fly. So there is a part of me that just wants to sell all my Paldean Evolved. To be honest, I really do like the Magikarp. I really do like Shinji Kanda, so I don't really know what I want to do. When you don't really know what to do, your best bet is to kind of just do nothing, so I'm probably just going to do that, if I'm being honest. I'll probably end up regretting it in the future when Destined Rivals slams Paldean Evolved and just absolutely annihilates it. Like, Destined Rivals is just going to annihilate everything in Scarlet and Violet, so I might regret it in the future, but I guess we'll see. Now, Destined Rivals is down 20% from its all-time high. Now, here's the thing. The reason why this is so significant is because Destined Rivals is so good, it's going to be really, really hard for it to go down. So, there is this thing with investing where when an item goes up, it becomes less likely to go up the higher it goes. Great example is Nvidia. Nvidia, it goes from $500 billion market cap to $1 trillion, and then from $1 trillion to $2 trillion, $2 trillion to $4 trillion. It gets less and less likely the more it goes up, and that realistically just goes for everything, if I'm being honest with you. The investment potential goes down the higher it goes, right? So with Destined Rivals, the opposite happens. Well, not the opposite, but when it goes down, the same thing happens. Every single time it goes down, it becomes less and less likely it's going to go down again. So, great example. The all-time high was like 550. That was stupid. That was dumb. There were only a couple sales at that price, but it was just stupid nonetheless. Like, you've just lost all your brain cells in your head if you bought at 550. I really hope you did not. Just to be clear, 550 USD, in case I have any, any Australian viewers. You guys are good. Just 550 USD. So you've got to think, it's down 20%. Now that it's pulled back 20%, in my opinion, I felt like it was extremely likely from 550 it was going to go down. I felt like that was extremely likely. Now that it's gone down 20%, it's way less likely it'll go down another 20%. But then after it goes down another 20%, say it does, then it's way less likely it'll go down another 20% and so on and so forth. So right now should be the time where it's really struggling to go down, especially when you compare it to Surging Sparks, Paradox Rift. You compare it to other sets, Destined Rivals is only like $80 to like $60 more than these sets, yet it blows them out of the water. If you look at Sword and Shield, Fusion Strike was $100 when Evolving Skies was $300. Yeah, okay, Destined Rivals doesn't look that bad after all, yeah? Like, Paradox Rift is like, what, 280, 290, whatever it is. It's something around there. Alright, okay, well, Destined Rivals is 360, so it doesn't look as bad, alright? So, yeah, that's kind of my situation with Destined Rivals, is that's with Paldean Revolt. That's my thing with Paldean Revolt, is it's not that it's worse, well it is, but it's just Destined Rivals is so damn good. The singles are holding up so well. Even the gold cards are holding up well. You know a set is a literal masterpiece when the gold cards are holding up. The Mewtwo gold card is like $60 to $70 USD. Shut the front door. I have one of those graded. I hope I get a 10. It's so expensive as a 10. But shut the front door, right? You look at all of the Lapras, the Meowth, okay, I don't need to name the cards. You guys know the set. Every single card is practically breaking all-time highs, or if it's not breaking an all-time high, it's just holding up so well. Like, you know how the consensus is always that when a set comes out, the cards freshly are super expensive and then they go down in price, right? Yeah, with Destined Rivals, it was like a different ballgame. Like, when it came out, the prices are just the same. Like, the Lapras, it was, what, $30 when it came out? Now it's like, what, 35, 40? Okay? Like, that's the thing about Destined Rivals, is that it's just light years ahead of everything else. But also, this is just something that's really interesting, is that Paldean Revolt is, like, more expensive, and, like, I don't know, the more I talk about it, man, I'm actually thinking of selling my Paldean Revolt. I don't like the idea of that. I don't know, man, maybe I'll sell a couple boxes. It's just, I have 9 boxes of Paldean Revolt, which means I could get 9 boxes of Destined Rivals, but also, like, that is, like, Destined Rivals is, like, what, $120, $110 less than Paldean Revolt. So that does mean that I also get, like, an extra, almost like $1,000. Oh, no, I do get about $1,000. Yeah, about $1,000. That probably means I could get 11 boxes. No, honestly, now that I'm saying it, I actually kind of want to do it. I don't know, I gotta think about it. I need a good couple weeks to think about it. I don't like just making decisions on the spot, especially the fact that it's late. You never want to make decisions when it's late at night. You just want to do it. Give it a couple weeks. I'll give it a couple of weeks to think about it, but that is something to think about. Is it time to move Paldean Revolt? Because Paldean Revolt is so expensive. Like, it's gone up really quickly. You compare it to Fusion Strike, which is like a way better set than Paldean Revolt, for the record. That's not a debate. That's not even close to being a debate. Paldean Revolt went up really quickly. Yeah. It's just, I don't know, but Destined Rivals, it just feels a whole ton. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching.